As we have discussed in the previous lecture about the Rousseau and how the Rousseau was the product of modernity, and how Rousseau has tried to question the persisting system. Means during the Rousseau period, as we have discussed in the previous lecture, that how Rousseau was very much influenced by the French Revolution. As you know, that French Revolution has basically taken place on the subject of liberty, equality, and the fraternity. So Rousseau has basically questioned those kind of equality, liberty, and the fraternity kind of thing. That do we really feel, or do we really have those kind of liberty, equality? He was trying to question those terms. So in this regard, we have seen that how Rousseau has tried to raise some questions related to the liberty of the individual, that how far our liberty is really we are having liberty or not. So he has said in the previous lecture we have discussed that how Rousseau has said that this liberty which we are feeling is totally dependent on the economy. I mean to say that Rousseau has said the social and the political liberty is totally dependent on the economic liberty. Means if any person doesn't have food to eat, if any person doesn't have what to call the residence to live or sanitation, so there is no meaning of the equality between the gender, equality between the race, equality between the tribes. Means he said that first of all the person require a kind of economic need. On the basis of economic need, everything is totally based on the economy. So he has tried to question those forms of the liberty. What is the role of such kind of liberty? On the other way, Rousseau has also questioned that we are talking about human being, that we are more educated, or the education has started up, and that's why we are talking about the equality. So Rousseau has said that why we never see, or why we'll never find a kind of system called as a equality will persist in the society. He said that you can imagine after the French Revolution till the modern era 2021, still we can see the gender based discrimination, the race based discrimination, the tribe based discrimination, and the discrimination based on the class. So why do we see such kind of inequality? This answer has already been given by the on the question of on this question has already been answered by the Rousseau. What Rousseau has said? Rousseau has said that it is our corrupt mind, it is our corrupt thought, which always try to give the seeds to the inequality. So Rousseau was trying to question the human nature, that what kind of nature do we have. In the previous lecture, we have also discussed about the state of nature and what kind of human nature is there. Rousseau has said that all human beings are like tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means a blank sheet of stone. He means that whenever any person takes the birth, he is like a blank sheet. He doesn't know, or she doesn't know anything about the society, anything about the self-interest. It is the nature, or it is the society, it is the education which corrupts the human mind. So he was trying to question those kind of system. What kind of education system do we have? What kind of society do we have? What kind of knowledge, what kind of reasoning we are building among the people? He was not against the education. He was very much supportive to the education, but he has tried to question those whole phenomena, whole situation, which has tried to build a human being who were totally corrupt by the thought. Corrupt means totally self-centered. All persons were eager to collect the power. All persons were eager to collect the prestige or collect the money. No person have had the feeling or a kind of thought to work for the society rather than working for the self, or no person had such kind of view to see their interest in the interest of the others. So Rousseau was trying to question those things. As in the previous lecture also I have mentioned you that Rousseau have never taken a formal schooling after the class 12. After the age of 12, he was dropped out from the school, and he has started working in the society. You have also We have also discussed about the he was very much influenced by the Diderot, a very renowned scholar was there and the philosopher. He was very much influenced by him. After meeting him, he has written two very important books. Means most of the book has been written by him. The two or three important books are the Discourses on the Inequality, where he has talks about three forms of the inequality: the on the basis of science and art, on the basis of inequality, and on the basis of the social contract. And he has also written one book, the Email. So, without discussing furthermore on the books, so what he has talked about in the discourses of the origins of the inequality of mankind, he said that why do we see those kind of inequality among the people? Why we see those kind of inequality in the society? So Rousseau was trying to question the government which was formed by the people. He was trying to question the Hobbesian method of social contract. He said the method which is been mentioned by the Thomas Hobbes to form the social contract is not the correct. He said that if we will give the power to the Leviathan, a superhuman being, how far we are going to establish the equality? Means all the people are surrendering the power not for the sake of interest of other, but to protect their right to life. So he was trying to question those things. And in the John Locke theory, we have discussed that how he was trying to question that the liberty which John Locke has talked about, those liberty have no value, no role, because the liberty all the people are gathering and the forming the government to protect the natural right. So he said, if all the person will think for the self, the society will never overcome from the problem of inequality. He was trying to question the both the previous philosophers social contract thinker, so philosophy, that what kind of government do you want to make. So he was trying to basically question the politics is fundamental. He was trying to say that in the politics means the forming government, no people were there, means the only one thing was there. He has said all the people were trying to protect and promote their self-interest. Means the politics or the government means how all the person can perpetuate and promote their self-interest and protect also self-interest rather than interesting the others of the interest of the other people. Along with this, he has also said that, in the John Locke's theory of two treaties of government, where he has said that people have formed the civil society. So he has tried to question those things, those civil society, how far the civil society has been formed on the basis of serving others rather than serving self. Like in modern time, in modern era, whenever if you see any civil societies there, the people always try to correlate or try to join the civil society or be part of the social movement, not only for the sake of self but for the sake of others too. So you can say that how the idea about the civil society which has been given by the John Locke has been transformed by the Rousseau. So in this regard, we have already discussed the equality. So he said that equality can never persist without the property, and the he was talking about that equality is totally dependent on the social economic equality rather than the political and the social equality. So he you can say that he was kind of rooting the philosophy of Karl Marx. So, first book he has talked about the discourses on the inequality related to the sciences. So, what he has talked about in the equality related to the science and the arts, he has said that whenever we do the study in the science, we try to study 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, or several theories where we try to read that gravitation law, every action have opposite reaction. What do we provide through the science? So he said those sciences are only providing the reason and the rationality. It is not providing you the morality or the moral skills. So he was trying to talk about a system where the education system or the society should provide or build a human being who can driven for the not for the self but for the others. Earlier, he has said that before then the Rousseau, we have seen that how the state was meant not for the people, but the people were there for the state, like the Machiavelli's philosophy. We have discussed that how the people have formed the state, or people are the part of the state, or even though in the Plato's state or the Aristotle's state, you can see that how people were the part of the state to protect and promote the state rather than the state was there for the people. So he was trying to totally opposite the thing. He was trying to totally transform the thing. So that's why he has trying to give his philosophy on the social contact. He has talked about those social contact in that form. So now just I have given you the brief outline about why he has talked about the inequality and why he was trying to form the social contract. So as you know that the Rousseau has had a very kind of different background, or his background was totally been experienced by the inequality, and where he has seen that the equality people used to talk on the basis of French Revolution, that is not correct. The people are inequality is still persisting, and even though after attending the knowledge education and the more reason, the inequality has furthermore increased rather than decreasing. So you can see in the modern time also, you can see if you can try to find collect the Gini coefficient, the gap between the rich people versus the poor person, you can see that how the Gini coefficient, the gap between the rich and the poor person have been further widened. So I have one question for all of you. Kindly go and read out, and to in next class I will discuss you what is the Gini coefficient of India versus world, what is the Gini coefficient of USA, Britain, and all the other countries, so we can have also discussion on that topic. So okay, I'm moving forward. Apart from that, what Rousseau has said, Rousseau has said that talked about two important things. One is the natural man versus the rational man. He has said that what kind of natural human beings are there. He said when natural human beings means a person who is incorrupt or non-corrupt person is there. A person is driven by the nature. He is not having any self-interest. He is not having an aware about any reasoning that I need to build home, I need to build property, I need to collect the power. Whereas a rational man who have attained education and learned from the society, he has started using the reason, and the human being have started being corrupt. And so it means the natural man means a person who is not corrupt by nature, whereas the rational man is corrupt by nature on the basis of his or her thought, on the basis of his actions and the activities. As I had already mentioned you, he was influenced by the French and the American Revolution. Uh, in the Discourses of Inequality, he has written 1755, the first book, where he has questioned that, like you can see, that why do we see the inequality? It is by the nature or by society. So he has said that the inequality which we see has been taken place in society by self. It is our education system and our whole method or our whole procedure is there. So in this like in previous lecture I had mentioned you that he was talking about the first discourse. There are total two discourse he has talked about. The first discourse he has talked about the science and the arts. What he has said that in the discourses on the science and the art, that my all my little passion were stifled by an enthusiasm for truth, liberty, and the virtue. This fermentation worked in my heart for more than 4 years. In the confession, he has mentioned those things. So, how what he is talking about with this sentence? He is talking about that how desire and passion, which has been generated by the science. For example, all of you are attending class, and most of the person they always try to learn knowledge or try to do some kind of work. So their work and attending the classes have one more what you call the passion is there to attend the class or to do the work is to achieve some certain things in your life. So what Rousseau has said that all the persons are driven by their desire, their internal happiness rather than the happiness of the others. So he was trying to say that the our passion and the desires corrupt the human being. So he said that we should not have to driven by the self. We should have to driven by the others' interest. But now question here is he was trying to raise about the desire, how we can create a desire not related to the self interest based kind of desire, but desire for helping the society, but desire for helping the others, means to see the happiness of self in the happiness of others. So he was talking about in that manner. So he has talked about logic, that whenever a person generates or understand or read the logic, the person always try to use the reason for the self-interest rather than the interest of others. So he has tried to question those things. In the continuation of this, he has tried to talk about the discourses on science and art, that how the military virtue and the courage, that body strength, he was trying to talk about how our souls are corrupted. So he has said the science is trying to provide us the reason, and arts also provide us the reason, but those reasons have no role of the, or there is no what you call the inclusion of ethics is there in the what you call in the science and the arts in the reason. So he was trying to question those whole model of the science and the arts, and he has talked about why do we witness the first and the second world war. What was the basic reason behind that? He said that the world has witnessed the first and the second world war. It was due to the corrupt mind, due to the corrupt human being, or the you can say that rational man have created the first and the second world war. So he was trying to question all the things. uh, we have always seen that all the nations are trying to capture the boundary of other nation, trying to control the border of other nation. Why do we see such kind of things? Why there is invasion of China's invasion in the Manchuria, or why China is trying to cover over the China Sea region. So you can feel that the China is driven by the self-interest of the nation rather than the interest of the humanity. So he was trying to question those things, that why do we see those kind of things. So he was said it is all the result of the development and the growth of science and the technology, which has not only which has given the reason to the human being, but the reason is totally based on the self-interest. So all the nations in the world are trying to promote and perpetuate their own interest. In this race, we can see that how it has corrupted the human nature. So he was talking about in that way. If you can read this stanza, you can talk about this. This is a second discourse where he talked about why do we see the birth. There he was talking about the reason. Here he is talking about the society or the atmosphere, the culture kind of thing. That why the human beings are morally corrupt, because we always teach to the student, or we always learn from the society how we can generate the interest for self, or how we can collect or become as a what we call gain the name and fame, that I can be is, I can be a what we call top person, that whosoever have done such kind of things. So he has said that all human beings are always means from the society that driven by the self image, that I need to create this kind of image, I need to crack this examination so that I can get the name and fame. So he has talked about how individual's mind and the soul is corrupt. So he was talking about when individual mind and the soul is corrupt, that it's not possible to establish the economic equality, social equality, or the political equality. Then it is quite confirmed that in the society we may never find the equality will prevail, or there will be inequality will be there. So he was talking about that thing, and he has said the like if you can see in the modern form of the government, or in the democratic form of the government, we can see that the decisions are always being taken by the elite class of only few sections. Okay, first problem is that. Second problem he has talked about, in any government, in forming any government, where is the voices of minority? Do we see the minority voices are there? Hardly we may listen. So he has said these are the problems of the political inequality, means there is no proper representation is there whosoever have voted against the person. For example, in current election, if any MLA have lost the election, who have got just 10 votes, I'm not talking about the 1,000 or 100 votes, 10 votes, it means the 10 people who have tried to participate in this democratic process, their voices will not be heard, because their candidate has been lost. So, and there is no representation to those minority people whose candidate was had been lost. So he was trying to question those forms of the government. Where is the equality? When you are not listening the voices of minority, this doesn't mean the equality is there. So he was trying to question those kind of inequality. So he has talked about there are basically the inequality which is totally based on the activity, which is totally based on the society, which is totally based on the representation by the people in terms of the political, in terms of the social society difference, political difference, and the economic difference. So he has said that all these things are the birth of mind and the knowledge and the education. So he has mentioned these things in his book, the Discourses on Inequality. Apart from that, in the discourses, he has tried to question that how we can oppress our desire and oppress or remove the inequality, which was not there in the state of nature. So he was talking about a social contract, and that such kind of social contract is the only tool through which we can overcome from the inequality, or the what you call the self-interest image versus the interest of the others. So he was trying to make a such kind of society, such kind of state, where what you call the original constitution will be made or will be built on the popular sovereignty. He was trying to take the term popular sovereignty, means the will of all, where the participation of minority will be there, means there will be in his what you call the constitution, in his written law, no person will be behind, or no person will be left in the society. So he was trying to make such kind of plan, that how we can make a popular sovereignty, where the participation and the decisions of all the people will be here. So he was trying to question what you call trying to make the solution, and in this regard he has questioned all the uh, previous thinkers, and he said that whatsoever the natural state of nature has been mentioned by the Hobbes and the Locke, it's not correct, it's totally false. So he said that Hobbes has said all human beings are nasty, selfish, and the brutish. He said that it is not the true. When human beings are born, how a person can be nasty, selfish, brutish? Because we are not aware about what is mine and what is others. We are not aware about what you call. If you can see any child takes the birth, the child doesn't know that what is who is mother, who is father, who is the society, and what is my property, what is others' property. It is we who always teach them that this is your pen. We never teach them this pen belongs to the society or the nature. The nature, this pen is not yours, but this pen is the nature's pen. So we always try to make them that this is yours, that is others. So self versus others thing being generated by the human being. So the thing which has been mentioned by the Thomas Hobbes related to the state of nature is not correct. On the other way, the John Locke has also said that state of nature is peace, cool, calm, and all the persons are what you call trying to work for the property, earning the property. He was little bit near to the what you call the Rousseau, but Rousseau has said that the people were very cool, calm. They were not aware about anything, even though they were not aware about how to plow the field or how to live a life or how to generate the property. It is the society, it is the knowledge, or it is the reason which has given the idea about to collect the property. So he has talked about those things. So he has mentioned all the important things in his what you call the discourses of origin of inequality. That why do we see this kind of inequality? So he has made some very good stanzas out there. If you can read that there is no original perversity in the human heart, means he said that all human beings, whenever they born, they are very plain. They don't know corrupt. Their minds will not never be corrupt. But it is the education, which is the society, which corrupts the human's mind. And he said the most important thing in this whole exercise is the education, and how education is there, and how we are what you call injecting the education among the people, which will build the human's mind. So as I have this is one of the most famous quote of the Rousseau, that man is born free, means whenever any person takes a birth, they are free, means they are not aware about this is mine, that is yours. The person is not aware about 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, or 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. The person is doesn't having any knowledge about the what you call the world. It is we try to teach them, and that's why he said when we born we are free, we don't have our self versus others. But after a certain year, after attending the knowledge and the education, we find ourselves in the chain, means we always associate ourselves that this is mine. How can I be a good what you call achieve the IAS, or how can I achieve that rank? So we are running behind our desires and the dreams, means we are totally caged by our thoughts, and we are totally what you call surrounded by our own thinking. So he has said that our thinking is totally based on the self. That's why he has said that when we born we were free, but after that we are in the chains. Means we are the slaves of our thought, we are the slaves of our thinking. And that's why he has talked about the soul has been corrupted by the society. So you can see that new system, what kind of new system he wanted to make in the social contract, whatsoever is there. So he has said when I will teach you the social contract in the next lecture, then I will teach you that how he was trying to say that the social contract will be based on the justice. Justice doesn't mean here that what you call the legal and the political rights is accessible and available to the individual, but his justice does here means that the society will live in a such a state where there will be no discrimination, where the people will work towards others rather than the self. And he was talking about the people equal on moral rights, means he has given the more emphasis on the moral rights, means that all the people will morally give the preference to the others rather than the self. So, and the reason, people will use the reason. He said that reason is not important. He said that reason is very important, education is very important, but we need to use the reason not for the corrupt way, but we need to use the reason in a very civilized way. Civilized means whenever we try to take the decision, we need to see the others. For example, if you are crossing road and any person is going by his or her own vehicle, so the if person may stop their vehicle and say that please ma'am or sir, please cross your road, then I will go ahead. This means that what you call the civic sense, that person have not given the priority to the self interest, that I need to ride my car. What is the matter if any person is standing uh, on the roadside or on the zebra crossing? So the person is not giving the priority to the self, but the person is giving priority to the other person. So this thing I wanted to mention here in the today's class. So if any student have any query or the questions so related to this, so you can ask me. Okay, if you don't have the question, then I have a question for all of you, that as you can see, yes, Nupur, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask that don't you think Rousseau was like a critique of education and education system? Because in most of his aspects, he's talking that education has corrupted minds of people in most of the ways, and people have been shackled under ideas, thoughts that are taking them or leading them towards the concept of inequality. And some who are educated and have wealth have justice, equality, and freedom, and the rest of the people are denied of all these rights. So don't you think he was actually a critique of education?
Very good question, Nupur. Thanks for asking such a nice question. When you will read his book Email, he has not said that education is important. Education is what you call not important. He said that education is important, but the method of education which we are providing the child is not the proper method. It's a corrupt method, means it is a corrupt system. We are building humans mind in a very corrupt form, means all human beings are here to try to learn the things, try to learn the activity, not for the purpose of to help the other or to support the society, but doing self work. So he has talked about the role of the education is not only to make literate human being, but also a social human being. Means he said that whenever we are trying to teach any person, we need to teach with the ethics, and the ethical thing subject should also be there. We should not have to teach in a kind of mechanical kind of things. The human beings are not the machine. The human beings are not part of mechanical thing. The human beings are based on the moral principle. So we need to make a such kind of human being that can be those persons can think for the others first, then the self. So he was trying to say that the education model is here. For example, all of you are attending the class here. Because since the childhood days we always try to teach the student that how can you achieve the class one rank in the topper in the class. In the class it has never been told to us that okay, who can be a such kind of student to show us that he has or she has helped the other student to become as a topper. We have never learned such kind of thing. So he was trying to question whole education model. He said that I am not against the reason or the scientific thing, but the method which we are trying to provide the education is not the correct way. It's a incorrupt way or corrupt model of education is there. So he was trying to talk about the what you call pure model of education, which can build the human being along with building the thought process, thinking, and the rationality among the human beings.
All right, sir. Thank you.
So, okay, just I would like to end the today's lecture with a few more points that he was trying to make that how should the political community be organized? Means how can we form the government? How the government can be formed? So he has said that government can only be formed on the model of social contract. How we can retain our liberty or how we can achieve our rights. Then he has given the answer. Same answer is the social contract, or how we can cure the corrupt society to the more uncorrupt or the pure society, or how we can give the birth to the natural man. So he said the social contract is the solution. So you can find out with the model of social contract, he was trying to give the answer of all the questions. So if any student have still have any doubt or query, so we can discuss.